On the 21st of April, just over 900 intrepid mountain bikers gathered in the capital of the Klein Karoo, Oudtshoorn, for the ultimate race, a 361-kilometer long single-stage event which pits man and bike against extreme distance, changeable conditions and rutted gravel roads in the 361 MTB Challenge. Starting at 6 o'clock in the evening, the riders had to prepare for not only the daunting distance ahead, but also to cycle through the cold Karoo night. Nervous tension was palpable as departure time ticked agonizingly nearer. One rider who appeared quietly confident was the course record holder Jean Biermans. Biermans' competition would come from fellow Dutch mountain biker Ramses Bekink. Just as the frayed nerves could take it no more, the clock struck 6 and the riders rolled out of the race village in Kleinplaas in Oudtshoorn to begin their epic journey. A 3-kilometer neutral zone would allow them to warm up their legs and take them to kilometer 0. Once under the 361 Asset Management arch, the racing was underway. Biermans and Bekink were taking no chances as they led the main field into the gathering gloom. The 361 MTB Challenge starts at dusk, which means that even the fastest finishers will spend an entire night on the bike. This brings unique challenges as the temperatures in the Klein Karoo can vary greatly in autumn. Leading a large peloton of riders eager to make the most of the largely flat opening 20 kilometers was Jean Biermans, followed by Change a Life Academy star Stembiso Masango, with Ramses Bekink sitting fourth wheel. After the silky smooth tar of the road north from Oudtshoorn, the route veered east and onto corrugated gravel. The characteristically rocky and rutted gravel roads of the Klein Karoo take their toll on man and bike, rattling both beyond the point of fatigue. At the front of the race, Bekink, who hails from Skoroldam just north of Amsterdam, was the first to show his strength, making a break off the front of the ever-reducing lead group. Behind Bekink, Stembiso Masango was leading the main field on the climb towards De Rust and the first water point. Leading the women's race from the off was the pre-race favourite and course record holder Jeannie Dreyer. Biermans had punctured badly and needed to insert a tube, but the valve stem on the tube inserted broke as he tried to pull it through the rim. He was only able to continue racing after receiving first a tube and then CO2 bombs from fellow competitors. While Biermans was fixing his puncture, Bekink forged ahead on his own. Reluctant at first to make a solo break for 280 kilometers, but upon realizing no other rider could match his strength, he was forced to go it alone. Behind Bekink, Masango had splintered the chasing group. The Change a Life rider was 15 minutes back in second. Just a couple of minutes further back was the group of Benny Viljoen, Andrea Studer and Dusty Day, who experienced a momentary lapse of concentration at water point 4. Out on the road, Masango was driving hard, but a more conservative strategy would have served him better. Ramses Bekink was tapping into his 24-hour endurance racing experience, spinning at a high cadence and expending minimal energy as he flew towards the halfway mark. A large part of a successful 361 MTB Challenge bid is down to the support crew, and Bekink's was meticulously prepared, allowing him to clock in at the timing station, refuel and change his lights battery with minimal fuss. Entering checkpoint 2 18 minutes later was Stembiso Masango, followed by Dusty Day's group.
This distance is killing me. I'm a roadie, I'm not used to this.
Soon Day and his compatriots were back out on the road, but they were being chased down by the leading 4-person relay team. Having started 20 minutes later, it took them 240 kilometers when Neil Ungera made the pass for the relay squad to take the lead. Being passed by Ungera of the Kinky Wizards relay team did not upset Bekink's rhythm. He continued to spin his way through the kilometers. But by the foot of the Rooiberg Pass, he was clearly tiring as his efforts took their toll. Cresting the 7-kilometer long pass, he had completed the psychologically toughest part of the race. By then, under 100 kilometers remained. Stembiso Masango had been caught on the Rooiberg Pass by Dusty Day, Benny Viljoen and Andrea Studer, so the 4 riders began the treacherous descent together. Masango took the lead while the others followed his lines as they wound their way down towards Karlitstorp. "6 a.m. signaled the start of the 180-kilometer long half-distance race. After nearly 13 hours in the saddle, the first rays of sunlight crested the eastern horizon, gently illuminating the Klein Karoo. Riders more focused on completing the challenge than racing for places warmed their exhausted bodies around waterpoint fires and shared battle stories from the dark night they had survived. For most mountain bikers, the idea of riding 361 kilometers in one go is daunting enough. But Martin Dreyer is not a man to be easily intimidated. The adventure racing and canoeing legend took on a double loop of the 361 route, completing an astonishing 722 kilometers with over 10,000 meters of altitude gained in the process.
On the 361, watching the sunrise when you're in tune with your environment, you're in touch with nature, and you quietly just pedaling and watching the colors change and that orange glow coming into the new day. And likewise in the evenings when the sun's going down and you know this is when the going gets a little bit tougher and mentally you start preparing for the dark. I must say it's quite unique being on a bicycle out there, having nature present itself to you compared to being at home in the lap of luxury, and you don't appreciate the simple things. And I must say, when I do my adventure races and a challenge like this, all I worry about is, am I cold, am I hungry, and have I got somewhere to stay tonight?
Dreyer's amazing feat took him 48 hours and 15 minutes to complete, including a shower and an hour-and-a-half power nap after his first 361-kilometer loop. Due to his 1 a.m. initial start time and the fact that he rode the course twice, he was treated to more beautiful Klein Karoo vistas than his fellow single 361 riders. Back at the front of the race though, Jolanya de Villiers was racing towards Oudtshoorn, completing the final relay leg for the Kinky Wizards. She had started the section at checkpoint 3, 5 minutes ahead of a slowing Bekeng. With a mere 40 kilometers to go, Ramses Bekeng looked to be in pain, but his lead was secure and his only concern was chasing down Jean Bierman's 2015 course record. An hour behind Bekeng on the road, now in second on his own after dropping Day, Studer and Masango, was Benny Viljoen. But there was no stopping Ramses Bekeng. The Dutch star raced across the finish line in a new record time of 13 hours, 59 minutes and 55 seconds to claim the 2017 361 MTB Challange title. Finishing 64 minutes later, Benny Viljoen claimed second, while Dusty Day edged out Andreas Studer by 1 second in a sprint finish for third. While Bekeng finished just before 8 a.m, the rest of the 361 MTB Challange field would have to battle the heat of the day on their way to the finish line at Kleinplaas in Oudtshoorn. Checkpoint 3 in Karlitstorp quickly became an oasis, where roosterkoek, ostrich societies and pancakes filled the hungry voids within the exhausted riders. As most riders had no need to rush, they could take their time to enjoy the Klein Karoo hospitality.
Having done 361 kilometers before the actual race start, it was cold, it was desolate. It's what people perceive a 361 to be. I had that experience because there were no support stations set up, and it was tough. And then having done the 361 with the full support, which is basically, it's like 5-star VIP treatment, you don't have to worry about nothing except riding your bike. Like, the support stations are there every 35 k's to give you everything you need. So all you need is basically 2 bottles. There's no logistic sort of worries at all.
Dryland Event Management pride themselves in organizing a tough but uniquely rideable ultramarathon, as Dryland's Henko Rademacher explains.
Sure, the ride is tough, but I mean, mentally you could do it. You know you have to, as Martin Dreyer said, how you eat an elephant, 1 bite at a time, and you've got to ride between water point and water point. And if you make those small little objectives, you know, just the success of obtaining each of those will make you finish this in the end.
In the solo women's race, Jeannie Dreyer was dominant throughout. But once she realized that breaking her own course record was no longer on the cards, she slowed to soak up the experience. Entering Oudtshoorn, she coasted the final 5 kilometers, reflecting on her victory in a time of 16 hours, 59 minutes and 28 seconds.
Celebration, Oaks. There we go. Well done, Oaks.
Upon finishing, many riders needed a moment to compose themselves.
Oh, that was tough. The worst race ever, but the best race.
Hard ride.
It was brutal, yeah? In every way, emotionally, physically, psychologically.
Not only is the 361 physically tough, it is a mental battle too.
To ride 361 kilometers, not only do you have to train extraordinarily hard, you have to really, really dig deep on the day of the event. It means that everything has to go right for you. Your nutrition, your race pack, your mental set, your emotional set, your physical mind, everything has to be right.
The riders who showed the most mental fortitude were those who completed the race in over 24 hours. They had to ride long kilometers through the heat of the day, when the temperatures soared into the mid-30s, and then faced the prospect of another sunset on the bike. Riding into another Klein Karoo night must have taken every ounce of resolve not to dismount, give in to the sleep monsters and go in search of a comfortable bed to relieve their eyelids, which were surely as near to collapse as their legs. Each and every finisher of the 361 MTB Challenge, from Ramses Bekend to El Franco Holder, should be exceptionally proud of their efforts. Completing 361 kilometers is no mean feat. Riding through a sunset, a sunrise, and for some a second sunset takes an admirable mental fortitude. There is no shame in wiping away a tear before claiming that hard-earned medal, or in expressing the sentiment of never again before allowing the ultra-endurance bike to overpower all seemingly rational thought and enter the 2018 361 MTB Challenge to do it all over again.